Hi, everybody. We're going to get started in just a minute. For those of you that are online, those of you that are in the room, hi, everybody. If you can hear me, if you could put something in the chat to let me know, please. I can't hear you. and I also cannot get that to come up. So no, we don't have the owl set up. We're using GoToWebinar.
Okay. What can you not get because you're extended?
I can't get this to show up on the big screen. What did you just do?
It's extended. So this is an extension of your laptop.
Okay.
That's how we had it last time, so all this mess doesn't show up on there.
That's right. That's right. I cannot remember. I need to write that down somewhere. Like put a sticky right here.
I can't remember anything that might needed to be said.
So you don't have any updates right now?
No,
That's
if
fine.
you need me, call me. I'm just trying to get through.
I get it. If you are online participating, can you hear me? If you could type something in the chat and let me know. I guess I'm gonna have to go grab Marcy.
Oh, let me show you that.
All right, it's 1 o'clock. How are you guys doing? Good. So good to see you here. We have some people online, so I'm going to kind of turn it this way. So hopefully they will be able to hear me, even though I've been asking. I feel like it says that they can hear me, but nobody is telling me in the chat that they can hear me. So let me see again one more time. Okay, we're good. We're good. Thank you, everybody online. I finally can see your answers. I appreciate you. I know Lily is copying off a few things on that we're going to start with on the agenda. So I'm going to switch it around a little bit since I have your attention right now. And I'm actually going to put up on the screen. Bear with me because I don't multitask well. My little notes, maybe if I can get them. It would help if I plugged in my little thingy thing. That's what we call those. We call them thingy things in case you want to know. let's see here. What I'm trying to do is bring up on the screen the paper that you guys that are in the room have in front of you. Maybe.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
I took over your spot, sorry.
No, it's fine. I appreciate you stepping in. I needed somebody to. That's great. I apologize ahead of time. It was supposed, not only did the printer decide not to print in color, but it didn't staple them, so I had to go back and staple them. So here are some provider packets. Dana's got more coming. And make sure I got Tracy's email. Okay. You know, it wouldn't be childcare without a few technical difficulties, right?
Amen. Yeah, and I can't find my paper, so I'm gonna have to go find my paper.
All right, so I know we're probably past time, or are we early or late?
Let's just
Is that
skip
time
it.
right?
That time is not right, so don't look at that. It's 1:02.
Okay. Oh,
We're
good.
gonna
That's
skip
okay.
we're gonna skip over on our guest speaker, but we can
Oh,
give
I
her
have a statement
kudos.
from her.
Oh, go for it. I cannot pull up the picture.
Okay, so in your package is a picture of Tracy England. She is your board, no, that's mine. Hannah's getting them. Yep. Thank you, Natisha. Our board, your board representative for private child care centers is Tracy England. In your packet is a picture of her. She wanted to be here today for you all. And she's sorry that she couldn't be here for you, but she did give me a statement. She wanted to talk, because this month is, I understand that teacher appreciation is only for a week technically, but hey, it's provider appreciation all month long. And I just want to say thank you to those of you who were able to participate in our event that we had on April 30th at Paint with a Twist, where we got to explore the experience of creativity and the importance of it and reflection in the classroom. And if you see in the picture of Tracy, she was there for that event and she's painting her picture. And an example of the pictures that were painted are on the agenda. That was one of the examples that the teachers painted at Paint with a Twist. And this is Tracy's message to her fellow child care providers. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there with you guys today. As we all know, staffing is the biggest issue we're facing. Please take my email down and reach out with any ideas you may have on how we can overcome this together. Shared staff or sub-site area. I'm here to help with centers, help other centers however I can. We're all in this together and have shared issues and concerns. If we put our heads together, we may be able to solve one or two of them. And her email address, if we can put it in chat, please.
Yes.
Is ocalaPlayAcademy@aol.com. And what she's referring to is, unfortunately, she couldn't be here today because of her own staff. She had someone call in sick and sort of another teacher, and you know how that goes. You end up being the teacher, right? Yes. So please reach out to her with your concerns, with your questions, because she is your voice on the board with the coalition board members. She represents you. So, but she can't represent you if you don't talk to her and tell her what you want them to know. Right?
And she is our, if I can jump in, she's our representative for our private sector. So Erlene Cart is our representative for faith-based providers, and Cecil Wilson is our representative currently for our family childcare homes. So you can reach out to any of them, and we can definitely follow up with their email address if you need.
In the chat, yeah, that would be great. Which they were at the provider appreciation as well. That was really cool to have them there. Thank you so much. Hi, how are you? Welcome to our provider meeting. It's okay. Do they have questions? No. No? Okay. All right. Just thought I'd ask. You know, I'm open to it. We're good. Okay, so, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and move along. Do we have any partner updates?
Let me check and see who's on, if we have any updates. Let me see my audience. I'm sorry, we just switched back to a new platform, so I'm relearning again. So please bear with me because technology is not my first love of life. Let me see here.
By the way, Tracy, just in case you are listening, but you're not, you know, 'cause I know you're in nap time right now. I have a gift for you in appreciation for your service on the board, representing your peers when you come show up at the next provider meeting. I mean, when you come show up for the board meeting, my bad.
So we don't have any partners online that would like to share, but I do want to share an incident that happened that was reported this morning to us. How many of you provide transportation? And we're going to have to talk loud so that the mic over here can talk. Any of you provide transportation that are in here? Not currently? Okay. Those of you online, if you are, we did have a situation with a provider that it was an electrical fire that occurred in their vehicle. Why I'm telling you about this is a PSA, okay? If you have the child monitor installed in your van, your car, your vehicle, please make sure when your car gets serviced, that gets checked out too, so that we can prevent any future potential incidents. So just keep that in the top of your mind. If you're providing transportation, that is something that did occur. Everybody's fine. There was no injuries, thank goodness. But we need to be cautious and keep these things in mind as we're enforcing new standards, right? For the safety of our children. Sometimes weird things happen and we know. So the best preparation is practice and keeping up with any maintenance that needs to be done and double checking lots of things. Did you have a question?
Oh, I'm just saying, since I put mine in, and I first put it in, my electrical power stirring went out.
Oh.
It took $2,000 something to get that done.
Oh my.
Out of my pocket, which was his fault. And now I took it back and he hooked it up. Not a home don't blow at all. My home, I don't have a home.
Your horn doesn't blow.
No.
So, I don't even know how to respond to that, Ms. Alma. Yeah. You know, we want to make sure that we're taking our vehicles to reputable people, make sure that they do have their own insurance to cover any mishaps that might happen. So it's just things as business owners, as community partners, we share this with each other to try to keep as safe as possible. So with that, Marcy does not have any EFS mod updates, so we are moving right forward right now. Do we have any questions about EFS mod or anything that's happened? I want to offer that opportunity, and let me check our chat box here to make sure. And then we had somebody else that agreed with you, Miss Zelma, that their horn also doesn't work now. And I had somebody ask me how they get a certificate. So let me talk about that for a second. Certificates, we do offer training certificates for every meeting that we provide for those of you that need training hours, because these are essentially trainings, right? Hopefully you leave learning at least something new or sharing something new with somebody else. But we, unfortunately, with our staffing situation, just like you guys, we have to decide what is our top priority. So if you need a training certificate, you just need to reach out to Quality and request one, quality@elc-marion. We're only giving certificates now by request for the time being. Okay.
Can I add a?
Yeah, go for it.
So, and when it comes to you, it's not going to be in the form of the certificate. It's going to be a transcript. And please understand, I'm together with my team, I'm the primary contact for professional development until I can hire 2 more people. There has to be somebody who has to go through every single webinar report to see how long you were on the call, if you were on the call, and if you're identified by a phone number, it does not count. I can't tell who that is by their phone number. I'm gifted in a lot of ways, but that ain't one of them, guys.
Wait, you know what? Speaking of gifted, who is our gifted, talented staff that are in this room and on this meeting today? We forgot that part. Your name?
My name is Liliana Howard. I'm your Quality One Coordinator for Professional Development and Quality Improvement Plans and Technical Assistance.
Perfect.
And I will be the one who help out the transcript.
I am Janet Honor. I am your Quality One Coordinator for Program Assistance, Contracting and Monitoring.
I'm Latricia Sims. I'm the Chief Operations Officer.
I'm Elizabeth Diola, Chief Program Officer.
Yes.
I'm new here.
Natisha Pinagote, Quality One Counselor, Provider.
And your ARPA rep.
Yes.
And with their action,
Carolyn just got the new CEO, because of the world and when she retired.
And the
And
And
so-
prior to fire service counselor, provider relations.
Thank you. We have lots of people online with us today, so welcome to everybody.
I hope that answered the questions about the transcripts. You're looking
Yes.
at least 2 to 3 weeks before you can get a transcript. Keep that in mind when you got DCF knocking on your door saying that they need your hours in 3 days. It's not gonna happen. Sorry. Okay, so moving on along, right into professional development. That's me. Bbk requirements. Okay, I have provided a checklist. Please listen, all my Bpk providers.
Is it this one? Yes.
Yes, I have provided a checklist for you that hopefully will make it very, very clear as to whether or not you and your staff have everything that is required to contract for the new 22-23 contract year. If you do not meet these requirements by July 1st, you will not be able to contract as of this time, unless DEL says otherwise. First off, Bpk directors must have a Bpk endorsement. When you go to your DCF transcript and it shows your director credentials, it needs to have a Bpk endorsement. And it needs to be updated. It cannot be expired. That part has not changed, guys. All Bpk instructors and directors must have this version of the student performance standards course.
I'm sorry, I cannot make that any different. I don't know why.
Including the Florida standards in preschool classrooms,
Let's make it look
3
better.
years old to kindergarten. And your packet is a copy of this checklist. Feel free to print it out, copy it, distribute it. I don't care if you send it to flyers or centers who don't even have Bpk providers, but are thinking about being Bpk providers. Because even if you're thinking about being Bpk providers, this is what you guys have to have. Mathematical thinking for early learners. Now, here's the biggie. Language and vocabulary in the Bpk classroom. Who can tell me when you have to have taken the language and vocabulary for Bpk classroom? After July 1st of 2020. If you took it prior to July 1st of 2020, it does not count. It is a retired course. And the reason why is because it was prior to the new standards being put in place. The new trainings have the new standards. Emergent literacy for Bpk instructors. Who can tell me at when does that start counting on your DCF transcript? When emergent literacy for Bpk instructors, who can tell me when you have to have taken that course in order for it to count?
After July 1st, 2018.
Thank you so much, Ms. Carol. I can always count on you. Yes. There's a reason why these are in red, because if you took them prior to that, you're gonna have to take them again. Can you scroll down a little bit, please?
Yes. Okay, it is not moving for me there.
It's not moving.
Hold on. Hold on, guys. Marcy!
Directors and Bpk lead teachers are also required to have the literacy requirements. You can tell me what the literacy requirements are.
I gotta turn this. I can't, my
What-
mouse doesn't go to it.
What are the literacy requirements, guys? Who can tell me? Oh my gosh. Are you serious? I'm sorry?
Emergent literacy for Bpk instructors.
Right, the 15 hours, right? Emergent literacy for Bpk instructors is also for directors. Directors have to have 15 hours as well. Thank you so much.
There we go. Now I can scroll down.
My preschool at the springs. All right. Okay. Yes. So notice directors and lead teacher must have literacy training requirements. They have to have at least 15 hours. What are the first two courses here, guys? Emergent literacy and language and vocabulary, right? So you already had to take that because it's required of a Bpk instructor. And you already had to take that because it's required of a director instructor. So if you already took those, how many more hours? 5 hours. Thank you. Scroll down. Please.
That's the magic word. You see, it worked when she said please.
I'm learning my manners. Thank you so much. All right. So at this time, phonological awareness is the only thing that's available that'll give you that additional 5 hours. Registration for Early Learning Florida has passed. These other classes are not available online. Okay, so phonological awareness is the only one. Phonological awareness is
I don't know
online.
how to,
My question to you, because I just got off the phone with Anna Gonzalez.
it's not.
How
like,
many of you,
connect-
and please put this in the chat if you're interested. If I can make it happen, how many of you would be interested in a phonological awareness that is completely in person
Is that what's
and does not
confusing you?
require the virtual reflection? How many, raise your hand if you're in here, voice it in the chat if you're online.
Even if you look, like I sign up for it, I'm not done with the online version. I switch out without having to pay the additional $10.
If, I can't guarantee that you won't lose that $10. If you've already started the online version, I would encourage you to finish it. Yeah. But how many of you, if I can make it happen, how many of you would be interested in a completely in-person phonological awareness from component 1 to component 2 to component 3? Yeah.
Would it be free for them?
No, you would still have to register through DCF and it would still cost $10 initially. But we do have professional development reimbursement and you can turn it in through the month of June. Okay, so far I'm not seeing any interest in the room. Okay, how many of you would be interested in having another in-person phonological awareness component 1 available for your teachers? Okay, so nobody in this room.
I'm not saying it's that. Every single box has to be completed.
No, these are the classes that you can take to reach 15 hours, and each one is 5 hours. So if at any time in your previous life you took these courses, that will contribute to your emergent literacy. Now, the phonological awareness has to be the most updated phonological awareness. It
Yeah,
can't
you
be a
just walk them
phonological
over.
awareness that was
Now,
taken
right
prior
now.
to when the new standards were updated.
Okay, that's brilliant. I know
Yes.
the deadline is July 30th, right?
July 1st.
First, okay, so if you have, let's just say you got your profile, you hire your people for and somewhere along the line in December, someone resigned and you need a new staff coming in. What if that person coming in, how? Are we still able to go into training or how does that work?
The trainings are still available through DCF.
Okay,
These are DCF trainings, the majority of them. They'll still be able to get phonological awareness, emergent literacy, and the vocabulary and language. They're just going to be available. But they still have to have the emergent literacy 15-hour requirement. Are you able to scroll down, Elizabeth, a little bit? What you're looking for on your DCF transcript to see whether or not you have completed all 15 hours and that it is on the last,
Hold on.
on the last page of your, typically the last page of your transcript where your other BPK credentials are and courses, it'll say BPK instructor emergent literacy requirement completed. You want it to say yes. When it says yes, that means you completed the requirement. Now, if you happen to have taken one of these two courses for preschool language development, the building blocks of preschool literacy in the past through Flamingo, those are 20-hour courses that will also meet that requirement. If the only other thing that will give you the qualification here is if you have, help me out with you, it's a
Competency 1 of reading endorsement.
will also meet that, and that's typically when you have an educational leadership.
If you have education certification.
Yes, thank you. I always get tongue-tied on that. Education certification. Thank you so much.
And also we found, because several teachers have submitted their college transcript for review, there are a few college courses that actually satisfy the requirements of competency 1, even if they didn't fully finish their bachelor's degree.
Excellent. So again, that's reading competency 1, right?
Competency 1 of reading endorsement.
Competency 1 of reading endorsement.
Lily, you're gonna have to stand over here and talk really loud.
Okay. Are there any questions? Yeah, go ahead, Ms.
I
Connor.
don't have a question, but I think what she may want to know, or some of us want to know, is if your Bpk instructor leaves like in December, like you were saying, and then you have to hire a new Bpk lead teacher, do they have to have all this before they can be hired as the lead teacher?
So DEL is in the process of looking at that rule, but as of right now, yes. Can you
Are they
scroll-
gonna-
scroll
I have a
down a little
question.
bit?
Yes,
Are
but you
they
have to
gonna
talk
offer
louder.
those throughout the year?
Yeah, it's being offered right now. It's not, it hasn't stopped being
Oh,
offered.
okay.
Yeah, it's through DCF. It is continuously offered. And scroll down just a little bit more. So the last thing I wanted to, your VPK instructors also must have those standards. The standards for 4-year-olds is no longer accepted. Okay.
Okay, so Lily, and one more thing.
Mhm.
Okay, you said if the person, individual, they have the reading competency from their bachelor's degree or whatever. If I don't see it anywhere here, we can add that. How does that work? Because they have to fill out this form, right? And so then-
No, that form is not a requirement. This is something I'm just suggesting that you guys can use as a checklist when you're trying to figure out if your VPK directors in fact have what they need.
Okay, that was-
You've got to stand back here and you've got to talk louder.
This checklist, let me just reiterate that. This checklist is just a suggested tool. This is something to help you when you're vetting your staff and making sure that you have all the requirements.
So we have a question that says, yes, where other than here does it state the director must have the phonological awareness? The DCF link shows just the 6 requirements.
Okay, so you do not have to have phonological awareness, but at this point, it's the only thing that's being offered that will give you that 5 hours to complete your 15 hours. So if you have something else that'll meet that 15-hour requirement, that's great. But if you don't, phonological awareness is all we have right now between now and July 1st that I'm aware of, unless DCF magically brings up, what was it? Can you scroll up for a minute?
Maybe.
There's it's that, you know what? It's building a strong foundation for emergent literacy. Unless DCF finally gets that course in place, that's going to be your only option right now. And it is in rule that you must have this these 15 hours.
There you go. Yep. I'm gonna put a box on the floor for her to stay in because she walks too much and they can't hear her on here.
Is there any other questions as far as this is concerned? Okay.
Nope.
So can we go to the next?
How phonological awareness or,
How
okay.
to complete online phonological awareness. Okay, for those of you who have done phonological awareness, and you've completed it, you know it can be a little tricky to get that magical Zoom link for component 3. I am gonna take you through the steps and give you some pointers about getting that pre-registered. You're killing me. You know I can't stay still, but I'll try. To get that final Zoom link. So I included the steps for those of you who take online phonological awareness, how to complete the steps to get to your final component. And if you can scroll down a little bit, Elizabeth, please. I need an X. And we're gonna go down a little bit more. Okay, number 5. So you're gonna go to the DEL website. That's the link to the DEL website. You're gonna find a 4-digit course reference number for your virtual reflection that meets your schedule. And hopefully, by the grace of God, you guys will be able to get in. If you cannot get in and it says that it's unable to process that, if it says it's unable to get you in, that means the class is full and you're gonna have to find another one. And by the way, there will be another calendar coming out in June. Let's go down a little bit more, please. And keep going. And then once you have your 4-digit, go ahead and keep going. You're going to go to the DCF website and you're going to go to instructor led and you're going to put your code in. And then you're going to go ahead and process it like you normally would. Right? Everybody with me so far? Okay. Now, when you are in the process of registering, can you scroll down please, Elizabeth, so you can see the screenshot? There is a portion, woo! There is a portion of the registration where you'll see this screen and it says course description and course notes. There is a pre-registration Zoom link here. You'll want to copy it and paste it in another tab. Now, this is something that I've learned the hard way. For those of you who went through this process, let me just apologize ahead of time. But this is something I learned. You want to complete your registration through DCF before you complete the pre-registration on the Zoom link. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Complete your registration through DCF before you complete your pre-registration on the Zoom link. Once you've completed your registration for DCF, you're going to go to that pre-registration. You're going to enter your information. It's going to ask for your certificate number from your Phonological Awareness Component 1, which will be on the bottom left-hand corner of your certificate. It's 12 digits, and it ends in zeros. And it's going to ask what activity you did for Component 2. And then it's going to ask for the reference number that you registered for Reflection Component 3, Virtual Reflection Component 3. Now that was a lot of information right there. Anybody got any questions?
Not online. How about in here?
Okay, in the event that you registered and you didn't get the Zoom link and you lost the Zoom link, guys, I have a solution. In your DCF menu, you have, I have to get my notepad out, be right back.
There you go.
In your DCF menu, there's a spot that says Course Enrollment History. You go into Course Enrollment History, you go to My Confirmations, that's a tab, it says My Confirmations. You'll find your VR Reflection Component 3 that you signed up for. You hit the print button, and in the print button, brings up your confirmation letter. In your confirmation letter are two very important things. Number one, it's the contact information for your instructor. Your instructor in your confirmation letter is one of the few people that will be able to give you that Zoom link if you don't get it a few days prior to the course. Their name and their phone number should be in there. Number two, the pre-registration link is there. You can copy and paste the pre-registration link from your confirmation. Is everybody with me?
Yep.
Okay, so if you miss it, you can grab it there. Again, the steps are go to your menu, go to course enrollment history, go to the My Confirmations tab, and then print. Okay, and one last thing, and I love Anna Gonzalez so much. If by any chance you get an instructor by the name of Bonnie Light, she has not been in DCF for decades. If you get a confirmation that has the name Bonnie Light, please feel free to email Anna Gonzalez, and I have her email for you, E, so you can put it in the chat. She gave me permission for you guys to email her and let her know, and she will help you get your Zoom link, okay?
Okay.
All right, and I also included
Lily, do you have any email address?
Yep, she's putting in the, it's anna.gonzalez@oel.myflorida.com. I'm sorry, I've two platforms. I got to remember. Thank you, Ms. Carroll. Keep me straight. And then I also included, just in case you guys need them, the May registration calendar in your packet. It's also included in there from the DEL website. And I also included phonological awareness instructions as well, just in case you need those too. Sometimes people, learn differently, and these are a little prettier, might be a little easier for some to read. Okay, and that leads me to the PD podcast. I hope to hear from everyone there. I hope you guys come join us. On the agenda is upcoming professional development opportunities, online professional development opportunities for those of you who are trying to meet those DCF requirements. And also, we're going to go into Bpk requirements, Q&A, have an open forum, and discuss whatever might be on your mind. I'll be interested to find out what professional development you guys might be looking forward to that you would like to have as well. So I hope to see you on the PD Talk podcast and hear from you. And that link will be going out, went out today, your constant contact, and it'll be going out again later this week. And that is Friday at 12:30 to 1:30. Thank you so much. And our next person is Ms. Janet Anna. I give you the floor, my lady.
Thank you.
Oh, don't, you get your spot too. Yes.
I know.
Yes, stand in the box, the imaginary box.
Hello, everyone. So we're going to discuss a little bit about provider orientation. I want to thank all of our providers that attended school readiness orientation. For our local and our out-of-county providers who could not attend, we're going to have a makeup session on May 25th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. This will be in person and virtual, so we will be sending out more information with links, okay, through email. Okay, we're going to move on to provider documentation. Providers, please remember to keep up with your documents. I know we discussed this through provider orientation already, so you know the documents that are needed, workers' comp, liability, your DCF license. So we need those updated. Also, your 22, 23 provider profiles. I'm going to say this again. If you do not have your E-Verify and your provider pay rate sheets for the school readiness providers, we cannot activate your profile. We need those documents, okay? School readiness and Bpk monitoring. That is continuing to go on. If you receive a monitoring notification letter from Mary, Delania, or Natisha, please follow that letter and follow the requests of the documents that are needed. Upload those documents into Blue Jeans, and try your best to communicate with your client service counselors. We do understand that Bpk is still going on and is coming to an end. Therefore, again, it's important, make sure you communicate with us. When you have a date scheduled for your monitoring, try your best to keep that date, okay? Bpk orientation. So Bpk orientation, we have two options for June 8th. Option 1 will be from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on June 8th. Option 2 for June 8th is from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. We also will have Bpk orientation on June 14th, and that is from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We will send out more information with the links for you guys to register for the orientation. Okay. And now coming to AP3 assessment. Again, we're coming to the end of your program. We know, you know that these assessments are due. They have to be entered and submitted. So please make sure you do this. If you do not enter them and submit them into Bright Beginnings, you're going to be getting a phone call or email from me with a reminder. Have you completed your AP3 assessment? You tell me yes. I'm going to ask you, please enter and submit them. And here is why. 1, it's important because you're supposed to do it. 2, if we do not have them, you won't be able to contract for the next fiscal year if your AP3 assessments are not in. Okay? And that is it for me.
We have your dates, so I can put the dates for the orientation.
All right.
Oh, Mary Brewster asked us to remind them to please submit their staff off.
Yes.
Loud, loud.
So Mary Brewster
Thank you.
wants you guys, and it is a requirement, please take the time to submit your staff rosters in QPS, okay? You'll be getting an email from Mary or a phone call from Mary or Delania and Natisha if we do not see your rosters submitted, okay? All right. And anyone have any questions for me before I take my seat? No? Okay. Now we have Ms. Patricia.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
All right.
So we're gonna talk about, I'm gonna elaborate more on what is fraud in early learning.
I'm working on it. Hold on. Oh, look at that. And it worked. Yes.
So I know during our school readiness provider orientation, I spoke a little bit as to what the contract talks about, but I'm gonna go a little bit more in detail and tell you why we do what we have to do. Okay?
Okay, hold on. It was, okay. It's not working. Hold on.
Okay, I can go from here.
Mm,
I'll go from here.
there we go.
So here's our Florida statute 1002.91, which defines fraud as an intentional deception, omission, or misrepresentation made by a person with knowledge that the deception, omission, or misrepresentation may result in an unauthorized benefit to that person or another person or any aiding and abetting of the commission of such act. This is from the federal and the state law. Okay. So every year by June 30th, each coalition throughout the state is required to submit what's called an anti-fraud plan to the Division of Early Learning. In this anti-fraud plan, we have to address the way that we detect and prevent fraud. We have to go over trainings that we conduct with our staff. We have to go over trainings that we conduct with you all as providers, as well as information that we provide to our parents regarding fraud. Next. So who commits fraud? We have recipients and we have providers. Our recipients being our parents that are receiving school readiness services or Bpk, and then providers. And there's our fraud alert.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So when we talk about recipient fraud, we're talking about reporting false employment. These are parents who are friends with one of their buddies who own a business, and they say, hey, I'm trying to apply for ELC. Can you fill out this verification of employment form? They ain't gonna call you. They ain't gonna call you. Yes, we do. We call those employers to verify that employment. We also have failure to report household composition. Those are the parents that they come in here and they say, we look at their pay stubs and it says married, and they say, oh, I'm separated. I don't know where he's at. I haven't seen him, haven't heard from him. Every year, we're in the process of filing for a divorce. And then I'm at the MCYFL football field, or I'm in the grocery store, and I see them. They go this way, the husband go this way, and the kids are all over the place. And then I walk around in the store until they get in the cash out line, and then I'm like, I see you.
For all y'all that didn't see that, she was shaking her finger.
So
She
that's
was
what
online.
does
She was
report
shaking her
household
finger.
composition. We also have failure to report loss of employment, and they continue to receive services. If any of your parents come to you and tell you that they have lost their job, they are no longer working. I know in the past, we would say your services are terminated, but that's no more. It does not matter what billing group they are on, BG1, BG3, BG5, BG8, their referral expires or is terminated. We are required by law to give them 3 months to reestablish a purpose of care. So while you're having a conversation, if they tell you they lost their job, please tell them to contact the ELC if they're safer. And then producing fake documents. I just got a case yesterday. The parent, it was time for her to redetermine, and she went on paycheckstubs.org or paycheck.org and had submitted false fake paycheck stubs to us. So these are different elements that constitute recipient fraud. Next. So what happens if a recipient is suspected of fraud? Our family services team, they submit a suspected fraud referral. We have to notify the parents that we do have a suspected fraud referral. We give them 14 days to continue services, and then we have to terminate their services. They could also be arrested as well as they will be made to pay back restitution. Next, please. Then we have provider fraud, falsifying child attendance records. Please, 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 this is your business. This is your livelihood. Do not sign a child in if that child is not there. We even have our compliance ladies. We are trained. We've done this for so long. We can look at a sign in and out sheet and tell where you call this parent, I need you to come. It's time for me to turn in my ELC sign in and out sheets. I need you to sign this child in. We can look at these sign in and out sheets and tell that this form has been completed at one time. So please do not falsify child attendance records.
Also, parents will tell on you. Parents will tell.
Yeah,
They will
tell.
sing.
Also, when you submit your attendance, you are stating that the information you are providing is true and accurate. So if you have someone doing your attendance records for you, please, please, with all your heart, with all your gut, please go over your information before your records are submitted, because they can cost you your business. Also, substantiating false recipient employment with childcare through false verifications. We have had parents come in and they get mad at their provider and they tell, I wasn't working, so my childcare provider said that they will complete the verification of employment form for me and state that I work for them just to give me time to get a job. Do not do it, please. Your employees, when you terminate them, they get mad and upset and they call up here. Miss Latricia, let me tell you what happened. They call. And also falsifying proof of general liability insurance. And I'll go over an example in a minute. Next. So as we talked about in our school readiness provider orientation, your contract will be suspended if you have school readiness or VPK and/or your contract will be suspended because we have to have time to conduct interviews, to look at documents. You cannot be reimbursed by the time your contract is suspended. If fraud is proven, your contract will be terminated. You could also be arrested, and we will withhold your reimbursement because if you owe us money, we will get it. Next. So this is just one case. This is a case here in Marion County, engaging in misrepresentation. The provider was a family child care home provider. Her husband was receiving child care services. He used a storage unit as his residential address. It was not discovered until one of our counselors looked at the child's birth certificate and walked away and said, I think this is one of our child care providers, the mother on the birth certificate. And sure enough, we went in and we looked at the enrollment. This provider got reimbursed $40,000 for caring for her own children in her home. If you own a child care facility, yes, your children can attend your center. But if you run and operate a family child care home, you cannot be reimbursed state dollars for watching your own children. So of course, her school readiness contract was terminated and there was a suspected fraud referral issued on behalf of her husband because he was the one receiving services. And this is a real case.
Oops, sorry, I switched it.
Next is another one, engaging in misrepresentation. So the parent was receiving school readiness services. She did not notify us that she had moved to another county. The provider here in Marion County was falsifying signing in the signing and out sheet. The provider submitted them. We received what's called a school readiness duplicate payment report. This report, it identifies the child and says Marion County paid for X number of days in the month of May. Duval County paid for the same child for X number of days in the month of May. So then we have to reach out to our neighboring coalition and say, hey, we have this child on this report. Can you tell me what days were paid for? And they happen to be the same days. This provider lost her contract and cannot contract with us for 5 years for $384.82. It's not worth it. Next. The last one, falsifying documentation. So this provider had a lapse in their general liability insurance. In the contract, it says that you are required to maintain general liability insurance throughout the whole entire your contract period. So if you experience a 1 or 2 day lapse, we'll slap you on the wrist. You say, okay, you cannot be reimbursed for those days. If there's a 5-day lapse, your contract will be terminated for the remainder of the fiscal year. And in this case, this provider had a lapse in her general liability insurance. She created her own general liability insurance accord form. And I had to reach out to the insurance company, had to send, we went back and forth with documents, and it was discovered that that form was fake. So this provider has lost their contract for 5 years. So like I said, these are real cases. I'm not telling you something I read. These are actual cases that have been worked here in Marion County.
And the liability insurance companies let us know when there's a lapse. They tell us. That's why we have to be included as additionally insured and listed. So we do find that out.
Yep.
So yeah, not worth it. Next.
All right. Did you know, we also talked about at the school readiness provider orientation that the coalition cannot contract if you appear on the USDA list. If you are the provider, the owner, officer, or director, and you have been convicted of public assistance fraud, we cannot enter into a contract with you. If you employ someone that holds a management position that has been convicted of public assistance fraud, we cannot enter into a contract with you. So when you are hiring your directors, you make sure you ask them, have you ever been convicted of public assistance fraud? Because if so, we have to terminate the contract. We cannot contract with you. Next. These are some of the agencies that I work with: the Department of Financial Services, USDA. Once your contract has been terminated, I have to notify them because then they look into resources if you're on the child care food program, the Division of Early Learning, as well as Access Florida and the Office of Inspector General.
And you also work with the Early Learning Coalition. I heard they're fantastic.
Next. So who does it hurt? It hurts the provider, because for most of you, I know this is my only source of income. This is your only source of income. Although we tell you, to make sure that all of your children are not school readiness children. If you are suspected of fraud and you lose your contract, you're no longer contracted with us. It hurts us because we have to terminate that contract. And most of you, I have worked with you long enough. I've established a relationship with you. I don't like picking up the phone, calling you saying, sorry, but I have an investigation, so I'm gonna have to give you your 14-day notice to terminate or suspend your contract. And then it hurts the parent, because we know right now there is a shortage of staff. The parents have to take off time. They have to do their homework, because that's our job, to educate them, to do their homework. Don't just jump on the first provider that you come across, but make sure your child is comfortable there. So they have to take off time for work, and it hurts them because they have to find a new provider. Next. And then, of course, it hurts the children that we should be caring for and protecting. These children are now uprooted. They have to start all over again, get familiar with new teachers and new children. So if you see something, please say something. Next. Since the inception of the anti-fraud plan, we have recovered over $100,000. That was money that has been recovered without going through the Department of Financial Services or the State Attorney's Office. That's money that we recovered here internally. And we've also had one that was arrested. So it's real, it does happen. Next. This is my contact information. A lot of you already know extension 214. You can call Remain Anonymous. We also have fraud at elc-marion.org.
We actually have an email called fraud@elc-marion.org.
Next. Okay, that's it. Are there any questions? So, thank you.
No questions online. And I'm up next.
I'll take care of the chat for you if you want.
Okay. So for those of you online, we will email this document out that you're seeing on the screen. And I'm going to stay in the box. Let me go to the box. Hold on. All right. I just have a few updates there on your paper in front of you. For a long time now, I've been saying we're working on something to help you with recruiting new staff and onboarding new staff. So we finally got the grants. So we have grant funding available. More information will be coming out. So there's two different parts to this workforce initiative grant that we will be launching here shortly. And when I say shortly, like within the next week or so. So there's two different things. One of them is a grant directly to you as the provider. It's an application process. You would just fill out the application, send it in. As long as you are contracted with us in good standing, we will provide you with a certain amount of funding to help you advertise for new staff. That's one of the things that we learned, is that you have budgets for a lot of things. Advertising is expensive. And I'm sorry, but the free Indeed ad only goes so far, yeah?
Yes.
So we are going to help you if you want to put an ad in a certain place, or if you know of some place that costs money, but you would like Family Times. If you want to recruit, If you want to do some sort of incentive, onboarding, training, your background screening costs. I know a lot of you will pay for them up front, but you don't give that document to the person, right? Because if they leave, you paid for that. We will reimburse that to you. Well, I say reimburse it to you. You'll be able to apply for funding to pay for that, okay? Because here's how we see it. Background screened people that are interested in teaching small children, little small humans, and want to be in the early learning field will go and bounce from site to site until they find their early learning home that they love, right? And wouldn't it be nice if they came to you with their background screening already done? So if we are building a community of early educators, then that is how we want to support it. So that's one part of this grant. The second part of this grant is going to be a payment directly to your teachers, thanking them for how long they've been with you and for their education. Okay, so we're trying to retain teachers and staff that are staying in the field, that are working with you. So we will be giving an application that you can work with your staff to help. There is going to be a little bit verification that we'll have to do with you, of course, right? Because we have to make sure that they actually are working with you. So Miss Karen, who's been in this field as long as I have, because she's only 18 and not retiring soon.
Not allowed.
She could receive a check for a certain amount of money based on all of the training and all of the investments and all of the time that she's spent building these children up, who now come to her and bring their children, right? This is an investment in our community, an investment in the teachers who deserve it, who want to stay here, and we want to help them stay here. So that's another part of this, okay? That's coming, so pretty soon. They'll be application based, and I do have a staff member, Jolynn, who's going to be helping me with this because it's going through me. Do you have any initial questions that are like, oh, I need to know this about this right now?
Don't see any in the chat.
No, and everybody in here seems pretty okay with this. All right. All right, so moving on to the next thing that I actually only have one left because in the time frame that we passed out this paperwork, I already got one request. We have 2 little free libraries. If you don't know what those are, I'm looking at my watch. My emails come to my watch. How dumb was that of me? My arm vibrates like all day long. It's ridiculous. So the battery goes out. If you walk into our lobby or you go out to our front driveway where you came in, you'll see 2 little free libraries. It's a national organization, littlefreelibrary.org. And it's about book sharing and delivering literacy opportunities to everyone in the community. I'll tell you what, during the pandemic, our little free library, am I still in the box? I think I'm in the box. Our little free library was so popular and has remained popular. It is like a Friday night spot. Parents will get off work, go pick up their kids, roll through our driveway, park at the end, go to the bank next door, then come back and pick out a book with their kid. It's become a tradition in some places. So we have 2. And if you're interested, still send me an email because we may continue this on next year, and we'll do so many every year with our providers who want one. Now, the caveat is you have to install it outside. It has to be outside so that people can use it anytime if you're open or closed. We will give you the books. We will help you replace the books. And the whole point is, if somebody comes and takes a book, then somebody may come and leave a book. Or they may take the book and it just is forever gone, and we'll help you replace that. So I have 1 left after right now. So if you're interested, shoot me an email. The last thing, or not the last thing, but ARPA, if you have not started your ARPA journey, it's free money. Yeah, I did just get your text. Thank you.
You do have a message
I
from
love it.
Cora Williams.
Cora, okay.
She says, my daycare kids love the books they get from there.
Oh, thank you. Keep sending them over. And we have little free libraries that are all over the community. I think we put them in a lot of the local parks, and we're continuing to do that. So yeah, keep them coming. ARPA. Okay, I don't remember what the acronym stands for right now.
American Rescue Plan Act.
Thank you, American Rescue Plan Act. Natisha, can you wave at everybody? Those of you online, she's adorable. I couldn't see her. She is our internal staff who is really running the show with our ARPA grants. ARPA is dollars to help you sustain your early childhood business. They are taxable, but this is the first time and probably the last time, at least in my career, I hope, that we'll have a pandemic that impacts us. So I really do hope we don't have another pandemic. I don't know how we do, although maybe now we're pros. I don't know. But this is funding that is unprecedented to help sustain the early childhood industry. If you have not applied yet, the deadline is June 30th. We really would like you to apply pretty soon. We are holding meetings on Monday evenings. We do have one this next Monday coming up. After that, we're taking a 2-week hiatus, one for the holiday because we need a breather. Woo! And two, so do you. And the second one, we're processing applications in June, the very beginning of June. If you are not planning on applying, we are going to bug you. We need to know why. Okay, because just like other funding that we have,
There you go.
thank you. Just like other funding that we have, if we don't use it, where does it go? It goes back. We don't really want it to go back. We want it to stay in our community, right? We have a lot of families that are struggling right now. You guys are family that is struggling right now. And this money is really, really helpful for that. So if you are not planning on applying, I would encourage you to please reach out to arpa@elc-marion.org. Let us know your reasoning why. Maybe there's something we can do to help ease you a little bit or make you feel a little more comfortable with the opportunity to take these funds and put them to good use. Okay. The next opportunity I have is kind of different. We are working directly with KCI because just like struggling families and businesses and everything else, the foster care system is really, really hurting. Latricia and I have been working with the KCI for a little while now and DCF as a partner to try to find a way to better place foster children. Right now, case managers are keeping kids in offices all day long. I don't know about you, but sometimes I don't want to be in my office all day long, and I'm not a kid anymore. But these kids are not being enriched. They're not getting the services that you're offering because we can't place them. Well, now we have the opportunity for case managers to place children. But what we're trying to do is build a network of providers that are our go-to network for this option, okay? There is some talk of parent fee waivers. I'm just going to throw that out there because if you want to know more, I need you to contact me and let me know. I'd like to be one of the providers that works directly with KCI to get placement of foster children. Okay, this really is hard to stay in the box.
I'm telling you, and you have and you have a question when you have a
I have a
moment.
question. Okay, go ahead.
Francine Crichton Bay would like to know if we apply, do we have to apply for each part if we are approved?
What?
In reference to ARPA.
No, there's a workforce portion of it that you do not have to apply for. If you don't want to, I don't know why you wouldn't want to. I can talk you into it.
But if you, do we have to apply for each part if we are approved? So.
No, you don't. You just,
okay.
And that's a question we can
She said
give
thanks.
More information. Yeah, you do not.
And then Faye Goring says, I would love to be a provider for KCI.
Woohoo! There's one. Latricia's writing it down, Faye. So if you want more information, what I'm going to do is take all of these opportunities. I'm going to put them in a little questionnaire that's an electronic survey, and you can tell me if you're interested in any of them. And that will help vet the information in one platform for me, and help respond quicker to you. But if you want to reserve a spot now, you can send me an email. Sitting here, I've gotten 4. So that's the foster care piece. I only have 2 more items. They're going to be quick. We have funding from the United Way as a partner to expand our Bpk program. We're typically looking for outlying areas, but if any of you that are not in outlying areas, if you want to add or have the capability of adding a Bpk classroom, I want you to contact me. I have money to equip your classroom if you give me that commitment. Okay, so I'm going to be recruiting. I have I have 10 spots for 10 classrooms, okay? So if you are an already existing VPK provider, or if you were thinking about it and you're like, I don't know, but maybe this will give you that advantage because we can help you with curriculum, we can help you with classroom materials, we can help you with all sorts of stuff. And I have a good amount of funding for it. So if
Okay.
you're interested, again, emailing me, or we're going to send a survey out with all of these opportunities, and you can pick which ones you might want more info on. Yes.
So Tyra Ponder says, I would love to as well. And
Write it down, Trish.
and then Lakeitha, welcome. I'm interested in foster care, but they said I can't because of my license.
Well, you wouldn't be the foster care provider. You would be the child care provider for the foster care child. I hope I said that right. I feel like, did I say that right? Okay. Hopefully, maybe that is helpful, Lakeitha. But we can definitely get you more information though about the child care portion of this. So this is for foster kids that come into our services on a referral basis.
Oh, I already do that. LOL. Lakeitha, welcome.
Yes, you do. That's awesome.
And then
All right.
Tappan has a question. What are considered outlining areas?
So outlying areas are like those places that barely have internet service, or outlying areas could be considered, they're not considered Ocala, so Reddick, Denellen, the Silver Spring Shores area way out there, the Forest, Marion Oaks, and a little bit south, I can't remember what's down there. Up is Williston. I'm not good at Summerfield, thank you. Akawaha, I just like saying that. But any of those, if you look at our map and anything that's on that line around the edge, that would be considered outlying. The reason being is we don't have a lot of, one, transportation, right? And two, opportunities. And those kiddos, what we're finding is the ones that are out there, there are missing, those are our missing links. If we're 300 to 500 kids short on a typical year pre-COVID of capturing our kiddos that are going to kindergarten, they're not getting any kind of VPK. They're not getting any kind of pre-K, which you guys know the importance of at least 1 year. We know even a little bit of VPK helps with that transition into kindergarten for successful early learning and on, right? So that was VPK expansion. And the last thing I want to tell you about is the summer internship program. I'm working with the Marion County Public Schools to help get some high school students that are interested in exploring a career in early learning, hands-on experience. So I'm working with Liz Fields, and we are trying to come up with a way to bring background screened people into your world, and potentially we might be able to pay them a little something. I'm not sure yet how that's going to work, but if you're interested in potentially having a intern on your site just for the program, because remember they're students, there are going to be some different things, but Liz and I are still working on figuring out what that means. Maybe only for a couple weeks, but a couple weeks is a couple weeks, right? And that's and plenty of time for you guys to make them fall in love with early learning. I believe in you. So these are my opportunities that I'm bringing to you as the ELC updates. Thank you for your time. We did go a little bit over, gave you a lot of info today. So stay tuned for this stuff to come out electronically so you can vote on what you want more information on. And are there any other questions? Thank you for
Nothing
being
in the chat.
providers. It is Provider Appreciation Month. We had a fantastic time painting with a twist. Painting without a twist, maybe. But all of your staff that attended and everybody that came, we got rave reviews and we appreciate you. And
Pictures on Facebook.
Pictures are on Facebook, and everybody is going to be getting a kit of materials shipped directly to you over the next probably 4 weeks to say thank you for doing what you do every day. All right, thank you, everybody. Have a good afternoon. Stay cool. I don't know, it's hot outside. Any other questions?
No, and I'm looking for the stop recording button. Up. Questions right here. Options. Here's questions.
Good.
Go ahead.